Hi everybody, welcome to Aimee Nolte Music. When you look at a piece of music for the first time, especially a jazz standard, there are a lot of things to consider before you just start playing or singing it. I want to talk to you today about those things. I want to talk to you about the first things that you should look for to kind of teach you why the song sounds the way the song sounds. And as you absorb these things, it will help you so much to be able to actually absorb the song and then be able to play it in other keys and to be able to improvise over it, to be able to accompany somebody, to be able to comp. All of these things will stick in your mind so much more if you just take a second to do a quick analysis. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to use the Jerome Kern composition, The Song Is You, because this is a pretty tricky song, and it's a tough one for me to learn and to be able to play it in different keys. So I'd like to use this one and just kind of show you, like I said, the things that we look at when we see a new piece of music. The first thing we're going to notice is what key it's in. And on a chart like this that just comes from the iReal Pro app, it won't tell you up here, like you won't see a key signature. It'll tell you actually down at the bottom. You just tap and it'll show you what key it's in. But most of the time, you can know what key something's in because of the final cadence at the end. So, and oftentimes you'll know because of the final chord, which is actually this. This is kind of in parentheses to start the tune again. And also, sometimes the first chord is often whatever key the song ends up being in, but not all the time. So the first thing I like to look at is just a general view of what key we're in at any given point. Now this all looks like C major to me. Now the E flat diminished chord it kind of goes away from C major, but all it is a substitution for the chord A7 or even A minor that you see all the time in music, which is what we call a 1-6-2-5. You can substitute this E flat diminished chord for an A7 chord. You can see down here, it's just the A7 chord for a few reasons, but one of them is that it's a tritone of A, so A to E flat is a tritone. Another reason is that the notes in this diminished chord all are just right above D minor, and they're good passing tones, or good voice leading into D minor. So this is just a slight departure for variety's sake, I think Jerome Kern had in mind. And it's also really nice with the melody. Da, 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 so that B note happens on the diminished chord. It sounds really nice. Ba da da da, ba da 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 da. He could have done it again here, but the melody note is a G, and to have a G flat and an A like right up against that G would have sounded awful. So in this case, he goes to the A7. Ba da 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 da. The G sounds much nicer against the 6 chord. Da 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 da. And then here is another common substitution for 1-6-2-5, which is 3-6-2-5. So remember, we're in the key of C. This 3 chord is, E minor because it's 3 away from C. But this is the first place where we go out of the key. So sometimes when we look at things, we just need to say, all right, that's out of the key. Let's key. Oh, now we're back. Okay, then another 3-6-2-5, and then it repeats, and out of the key. Okay, now we're back, right? And then we've got this second ending, and okay, out of the key again. All right, so that's something to look at. And now, oh, wow, we're in the key of E. All right, so we're in the key of E for a little bit. Oh, now looks like we do a 2-5 to get to the key of G sharp minor. All right, we're in G sharp minor for a little bit. This looks like it's coming back to E. But wow, the B7 doesn't lead us back to E, it leads us to C, and then this is all the same as the beginning. So that's kind of the first look that you want to take at it, but now we'll get in just a little more in depth. All right, now that we've kind of looked and determined that we've got the song is in C, it goes to E for a little bit, it goes to G sharp minor for a little bit, and then back to C. Now we can actually look at why those things happen a little bit. Now, the second thing I always like to look for after I just get that general idea of what keys the song is in, is I like to look for 2-5-1s. 2-5-1s that take us out of the key. So I mean, a lot of what we practice in jazz are 2-5-1s, so you can use it there, there, there. So if you've been practicing your rootless voicings, I have a video about that. Make sure and check that out if you'd like to learn about 2-5-1s with rootless voicings. I have a couple videos about it. And then we can look at just all the places where you're going to use your 2-5-1s. There's one, there's one, there's one, there's another one. There's one. This is one. And again, here, and here, and here, and then here at the end. So you can see that maybe something like 60 or 70% of this chart is 2-5-1s. That's why I harp on it so often that we need to just have those in our fingers because they're everywhere. All right, so the next thing I like to look for are 2-5-1s that are minor 2-5-1s. And the way that you recognize them is right here. You recognize it because you've got a half diminished 2 followed by what usually is an altered 7, but that's a little bit alarming that we don't see some kind of an alteration on this B7 chord like we do here on this D sharp 7 chord with a flat 9. Almost any time that you see some kind of an alteration on a dominant chord, like flat 9 or sharp 9 or flat 5 or sharp 5, you can pretty much bet on the fact that this is the 5 of some chord coming up that's going to be minor. So that's the case here. D sharp is the 5th degree of G sharp, and this is minor. So another indicator, and here's our second, this is our second minor 2-5-1 right here. We've got the 2, the 5, and the 1. And this, so I said that this is an indicator, right? It's the half diminished chord. As soon as you see a half diminished chord, you can say to yourself, I'll bet this is the 2 of a minor 2-5-1. So we've got it in two places. We have a half diminished chord here, and we have a half diminished chord here. Our brains should tell us that this is going to be a minor 2-5-1. And it would be a common minor 2-5-1 to be in the key of C, because anytime you see from C that you hop up a tritone to the F sharp and you start to build a 2-5-1, it's almost a given that you're going to E minor. But the fact that there's no alteration on this B7 chord makes you think, why isn't there a sharp 9 or a flat 9 or something that's going to be really nice voice leading into E minor? And you're like, uh-oh, it's not E minor, it's E major, which is kind of a really unique thing about this song, to actually go from the key of C to the key of E. Like I said, E minor is common, but E major is pretty crazy, actually. It's exciting. It sounds like this. I hear music when I look at you, a beautiful theme of every dream I ever knew. Down deep in my heart, I hear it say, here we are, I feel it start, then melt away. I hear music when I touch your hand, a beautiful rhapsody from some enchanted land. Down deep in my heart, I hear it say, is this the day? And then here we're on a B note, and we're going to keep it. I alone. And it sounds great, doesn't it? I mean, it's a perfect lead-in. But what you think is going to happen is that you're going to go, is this the day I alone? Right? If the melody walked down to a G or something, that would be what's expected, actually. Because oftentimes we go from the key of C to the key of E minor. This one, we're major. I alone have heard this lovely strain. So here we just 2-5-1, right back to E major. I alone, and now we're up on a melody note of D sharp, have heard this. And here we go with our next minor 2-5-1. And it actually is a minor 2-5-1 because it starts with a half diminished or minor 7 flat 5 chord. Half diminished can be referred to as either one of those things. To an altered dominant chord. Again, altered means that the 9th degree or the 5th degree is somehow messed with, either sharped or flatted. to a minor tonic, a new minor, it's just a temporary tonic. So, I alone have heard this lovely strain. I alone, there's the D sharp, have heard this glad refrain. Must it be? And that's exactly what you expect it to do. You know, it goes to the minor place. And when we're in the key of E, this is the minor mediant. You know, we're going to the third degree of the E major scale, which is exactly what we thought we were going to do here. We thought we were going to go to the minor, E minor, which was the third degree of C major, right? So it's like the exact same thing, but this time Jerome Kern tricked us, and this time he doesn't trick us. He does the expected thing. Must it be forever inside of me? Now here's a cool thing. It's that this G sharp minor chord that we thought was going to be like a tonic, you know, or the temporary tonic, because we're temporarily in the key of G sharp minor, it turns into a minor chord, which is followed by a dominant chord. Now, we always want to watch for this. Anytime that there's a minor chord followed by a dominant, we expect that that's some kind of a 2-5-1. And the chord that we expect to happen next is F sharp major, but he fools us again. He takes us to a dominant chord, which leads us. This dominant chord is like what we call the 5 of 5. When we're, you know, doing an analysis of the song. We also call it the dominant 2 sometimes, because when we're in the key of E major still, and we're going to try, it seems anyway like we're going to try to get back to E major, because here we've got the 5 of E major, right? So one way to get back to the key is to do this 5 of 5. You know, of course, also, he could have made this be an F sharp minor chord, that would be the 2 of E, you know, to get us back. But he didn't. So let's listen to this, how this sounds again. I alone have heard this lovely strain, or glad refrain. Here we are in G sharp minor. Must it be forever inside of me? So this is our 2-5. Why can't I let it go? And that's just if I just play a triad. F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp, but we do have this dominant degree. Why can't I let it go? Why can't I let you know? We've got a B7, and you think that we're going to go back to E, ba-da-da-da, right? But we don't. This is another wonderful trick that Jerome Kern uses to fool us a little bit and surprise us in a very wonderful way. It's that he takes this B7 chord, and he uses it to get us right up to C major. So we can take, you know, the tones in B7 that are the strong tones. We have a B and a D sharp and an F sharp. And all three of those are just a half step away from C to C and E and G, right? So it's very nice voice layering to do that. It fools us. I wonder if he was coming around, you know, maybe this melody just kind of sung itself to Jerome Kern, and maybe he was just da 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 do dee da 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 do dee da. But then he might have thought, I've got 4 bars to make it back to C major. How am I going to do it? And if he would have gone F sharp minor right here, ba-da-da-da-da-da, that would have been okay too. Ba-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da. But I don't know, the fact that he goes to F sharp 7, it kind of makes it feel like something is coming up, and it absolutely is. We've only got 4 bars to take us right back to the A section. To me, it just gives a little more urgency to the fact that we're going back home. So I like that. It's the 5 of 5, and then it does go to the 5 of the key that we're in, but it tricks us, and we're back to C major. Why can't I let you know? B7. Why can't I let you know the song my heart would sing? And we're all just in the key of C right here. But look at this. We've got another 2-5 coming up. We see a minor chord followed by a dominant chord. So our instincts should tell us always that that's going to be a 2-5-1 that takes us to another key. And in this case, it's the subdominant. We do get taken to F. Let you know the song my heart would sing, a beautiful rhapsody of love and youth and spring. So this is cool. He never did this back in the first A, but it's a way to end the song. He takes us someplace else, and then this is a nice device too, and it happens a lot where we're in this subdominant realm of F major, and then just to kind of, I think it's also almost like a negative harmony device, because we're coming around to the flat 7, which could take us straight to C, B flat 7 to C, but it doesn't. He uses it to take us to the 3-6-2-5 again, and let's hear how that sounds. A beautiful rhapsody of love and youth and spring. The music is sweet, the words are true, this song is you. And then we've got a 6 chord to the 2 to the 5, and it brings us back. This part of the song we call the turnaround. That's why I put it in parentheses. Usually it is in parentheses if you look in the real book or something. And if you're going to end the song, then you're going to have 2 bars of this chord. And iReal doesn't put that in because they kind of assume that everybody knows that. But now, when I'm looking at this song and I'm trying to put it in another key, these are the kinds of things that are super important to me. We start out in the key of C. We do this kind of strange fake out, like we're going to go to the key of E flat major right here, but we don't. So I think of that, and then I think of the fact that at the end of the second A section, we do a 2-5, but it's a minor 2-5 to get us into the key of E, which is the 3rd degree of C. So I'm going to have that in my mind. We're going to the 3. Then I'm going to have in my mind that we're going to the G sharp, which I'm still going to think about like we're in the 3, you know? So now I think about that we're in E, and I think that if I'm modulating to other keys, the way that I typically think about this kind of a modulation to the minor mediant is that this note is a tritone away from E. So this happens a lot, and it's in my other video about these kinds of modulations. But whenever you hop from your tonic up a tritone and play a minor 7 flat 5 or half diminished chord, it's taking you to this place, and that's something that happens pretty often. So that's going to be in my head, that now we're going to go to the G sharp minor chord, and then this looks like a 2-5 that's going to take us to a 5-5 to a 5, but not back to this key, but to this key. So it's kind of crazy. I'd like to walk you through it just a little bit in another key, maybe in we could do the key of F. And let me show you how that looks on the piano. So if we're in the key of F, we're gonna go, no, I'm lucky, I know the melody to this, so I can always just sing the melody because I know it. That's your first step when you learn a song, is that you have to actually learn the melody. That's very helpful to be able to sing it no matter what key you're in. So I'm just gonna play very simple voicings to take me through this key if I can. Sometimes it's hard for me to simplify, but I'm gonna try. I hear music when I look at you, a beautiful theme of every dream I ever knew. Down deep in my heart, I hear it play. This is the strange part, but I know we go to the 4 and we do a minor thing, right? Hear it start, and this is a 2-5-1, then melt away. I hear music when I touch your hand, a beautiful rhapsody from some enchanted land. Down deep in my heart, 3-6, I hear it say, 2-5, is this the day? This is where we're going to go to it's going to be A, so I have to go up a tritone. A, I alone, we're in the key of A. Now we do a 2-5, right? Have heard this lovely strain, I alone. Now this is where we hop the tritone, so we're going to go to here and do a minor 7 flat 5 chord. Have heard this lovely strain. Now we're to C sharp minor, right? Must it be forever inside of me? This is the 5 of 5, which in the key we're in, which is A, is going to be B. Why can't I let you know? Why can't I let it go? And it looks like we're coming back to A, but we're not. We're going to go to F, right? Why can't I let you know the song my heart would sing? Beautiful. And then we have the 2-5-1 that is going to take us to the 4 chord, so I've got to think about that. Rhapsody, C minor, of love and youth and spring. Now we're in the 4 chord, and we're going to do that thing where we go to the other 4. The music is, now 3-6-2-5, sweet. The words are true. This song is you. And we've done it in that key. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time on Aimee Nolte Music.